There's a reason why, if I tell you I'm homeless, you might not even believe me. And the reason why you might not believe me is because a different image comes to your mind. And if not a different image, then different words. And it is an absolute tragedy. And the reason why I know a different image comes to your mind is because the same image that comes to your mind is the exact same image that comes to my mind. It is unnatural as could be. We don't even have a word for it, and so the word homeless simply means a person without, it means to not have a permanent residence. But there's something happening in this world that is so abysmally unnatural that we're just calling this thing homeless because we literally don't have a word for it. And that's how unnatural it is. We just don't even have a word for it. We could say vagrant, but that wouldn't quite touch on what it is that we're talking about. The image that comes to our mind is a person who is addicted to drugs, mentally unwell. They're living on the street, whether it's hot or cold, and they may go to a homeless shelter at night, but they spend their days on a sidewalk and they're begging for money and they're trying to get drugs, and they might even be selling their body. It's not good. And we see those people. I've been wondering, I've thought a lot about this word homeless, and I've been wondering why I'm in this position. Not how I'm in this position, but why am I in this position? And these people who are the weakest among us, and I don't say that disparagingly to them, they're the weakest among us because they've been beaten down by life, and we don't really know what else to do, so we separate ourselves from them and we see them as a different entity altogether, because we are a human being living our life, and that entity that is spending all of their time on the sidewalk and they're viciously searching for drugs, that person couldn't be like us. And specifically, whatever has happened to get them into that position, that must be their fault. Could never be me. Because I'm made in the image of God, so I need to look at that person or pass that person in the street and not look at them and pretend that they don't exist, because I'm made in the image of God, because I'm a human. So I don't want to see that person as a human, because I certainly don't look at that individual and think, oh, image of God. You just don't. You don't see somebody who is strung out on drugs, out in the cold, and they're acting out of their mind, insane, because the combination of their mental disease and their drug addiction. Maybe they don't even have drug addiction. Maybe it's all in their mind. But you have to pretend that they don't exist, because if you see them as yourself, and you are made in the image of God, it starts to hammer away at your faith. And you question subconsciously if you yourself are made in the image of God. And then you question maybe whether or not there even is a God. Because how could a God allow something to happen so tragic? So it's my problem. Those people who are sleeping on the streets, it's not my fault. I wouldn't say I did that to them, but it is my problem, because I see them And you just can't reconcile it in your mind. Nobody can reconcile it in their mind that a person would be living that existence, and yet you're in a warm home. You just ate a warm meal. The only way that you can enjoy all of that is by not letting yourself think of the person who is out sleeping in the cold right now, right in this moment. But it's interesting because we have more than 5 senses. We think of the 5 senses, but what about the sense of admiration? You read the Bible and Abraham, Moses, Elijah, homeless. John the Baptist, the most homeless. Jesus, not quite homeless. Because he is home, so he's without a home in this world, but he himself is home, so he's not quite homeless, not in the way that I'm talking about it. He is home. And so my own homelessness is my fault, but my own homelessness is light. I'm like an adventure man. I'm a young man who's taken an adventure, and I took too many risks, and the risks have led me to a place where I don't have a permanent residence. And it's a heavy burden, but in a way it's fine. It's light. It's light, at least compared to what those people are dealing with. And so it's fine. There's levity. And so 2 years ago, when I quit my job and moved into a van and started the series of risks that have led me to this place, in the back of my mind, I knew that this could happen. I knew that I could end up homeless. But as the journey kept going forward, I told myself when I began the journey it was because I wanted to be a writer. And I did want to be a writer, and I do want to be a writer. But the real reason is because my soul was deteriorating in the life that I was living. My soul was famished. And so the past 2 years have been by far the hardest years of my life, the most arduous. But literally every day I become closer to God. And when I say closer to God, people reference the Bible and things like that. God is the Word. Jesus Christ is the Word. But you can literally have a personal relationship with the living God. And so I feel like Jesus is with me. And I only say the word feel like because I can't, maybe you see him on the camera, but I feel like he's everywhere. I feel like Jesus is with me. I believe Jesus is with me, and I know Jesus is with me, and I know I'm walking with God. And so that is what has led me to this place of homelessness. And the whole thing is light. Because I bring up Abraham and Moses and Elijah specifically, and all of these individuals had to leave the comfort of their home. Abraham specifically, that's his whole deal. He was getting old and comfortable, but God called him and called him and said, it's time for you to leave your father's house. And that's what he did, and that's how he went from Abram to Abraham. Changed. He was a new creation. And the only way to be a new creation is, I don't know exactly how I would word that other than what I'm trying to show in the journey that I'm documenting, which is to go all in, to make God the highest part of your life, to make everything subordinate to God. And so my point with the problem that we're facing and the homeless individuals, that it is so unnatural. It's not a natural thing. That's why we don't have a word for it. That lifestyle, it's not even really a lifestyle, it's like a corpse style. Corpse as opposed to life. It's not life. that existence, that is barely existence that they're experiencing. It can't continue. I don't have the solution. But part of the reason why I feel that I've been led here is because now I can say the word, I am homeless. And there's a lot of power in saying I am. Because now if I am homeless, then I can sympathize with those people more and not see them as something separate from myself, but look at them and say, that is me. I'm that exact same person, and it might not be their fault. The way I've seen children get treated so bad even in public, and I'm like, what happens behind closed doors? And if you're one of those children that grows up in that sort of childhood, abused, maybe anybody who's in that spot would end up living on a street corner, sitting on a cardboard box in the cold begging for money. Who's to say that you wouldn't be in that exact same spot if you had their exact same upbringing? So I don't know what tangibly could be done to help those individuals. But being with them, I guess, is my attempt. Trying to be closer to them is my attempt. Because I don't want them out there suffering by themselves. I just don't. And it's not a messianic thing. It's not a grandiose thing. It just bothers me. It disturbs my peace. Right. The good news is today is Thursday. My friend's lease hasn't ended, so I can sleep indoors again. So I'm back to sleeping indoors. I also want to say I'm so blessed to have a friend like that. We have people in our lives in this world, and we call people friends, but if you're in a spot where you need a place to stay, and you have people in your life who either let you or don't let you, if you want to find out who your friends are, it's the people who are eager and urgent to get you indoors and to let you stay with them. The peace of the Lord Jesus Christ be with him always. God bless him. I'm blessed. I don't want to use the word lucky. I'm blessed. And God bless him as well. But what this experience over these past few days has taught me is I adamantly believe, I don't know what the solution is, but nobody should have to sleep outside.